I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dano. You guys, I got two great guests tonight. I got Harley Owens and I got Robbie Ferrell coming back. And, they both have been on my show in previous episodes. These two, they live pretty close together now, and they go out and they do some research. They just recently, I want to say in the last 2 or 3 months, have been really, really active out in a new research area, and they said they'd like to come on. They had a little run-in, or Harley had a little run-in with somebody that I can't wait to hear the story, but also something stepped out in front of them and made its presence known. But we'll get into that shortly. I just wanted to say, you guys, thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you for all the support. You guys, I can't express how important it is that you guys show up each and every time, how important that is to me, and I truly appreciate it. If anybody out there has had an encounter and you'd like to come on the show, please shoot me an email at the Cryptid Podcast 72 at gmail.com. That's the Cryptid Podcast 72 at gmail.com. All right, guys, I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. I'm going to bring these two guys on. So without further ado, let's bring these guys on. What is up, fellas?
What's up, Dano?
How you doing? Dano? You guys, thank you so much. I'm going to tell you, I was kind of scrambling and panicking to get you guys on the show because, I'm just going to show the picture right off the bat because, I think it was Harley that sent me this, or Robbie, you sent me this, but it was this picture right here. Now, this is not the actual picture because I don't know. You guys can explain the circumstances why you didn't get a picture of it, but this is a picture of where did you guys get this picture at?
I screen grabbed that. That's from Cliff Barackman's museum.
Okay,
that's one of the illustrations in his museum.
And you guys said straight up, this is as close to what that actually chased you. It walked out and chased you guys. So, let's... Absolutely. Now, you sent a bunch of other pictures. Now, are those pictures, do they have to do with this encounter with this, or is this a separate time?
This encounter.
Okay. So, let's go through some of these pictures that you guys sent. Kind of give people an idea of what the environment looks like, what you discovered. We even have some video clips. You guys are going to want to turn it up pretty loud when you hear these audio clips, these videos. With headphones, I hear it very clearly. I hear all three, what we're supposed to be listening for. I hear it very clearly. So if you guys have the ability to put in some headphones or earbuds, you're definitely going to want to do that. But I'll let you know when you should. So we're going to go through and just kind of get a basic overview of what the environment looks like. And if you guys want to kind of give us just a little background or a little narrative exactly where you guys are at, and please, I don't want anybody encroaching on your guys' investigation area. So just kind of give me like a generalized area, but kind of tell us exactly what's going on here. So here's this first picture.
All right. Yeah, this is in my research area here in East Tennessee. Robbie lived about 30-ish minutes away from where I was at. And this particular day, I was getting ready to leave to go to work. And then I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to leave later in the evening. So I texted Robbie and I was like, you want to go out to the woods? And sure enough, we had met up at the Walmart and we drove out there, and right off the rip, as soon as we parked, and you can tell the woods were off, it was quiet. We proceed to make our way up the trail. We're talking and catching up, and I take him into an area where I frequently find a lot of tree structures and things like that. And we were finding some smaller ones where the branches were all broken and they were underneath the foliage from a completely different area. And it was, there was an instance on where I was walking up the trail, and I can't remember what my exact words were, but I had a gut feeling that something was going to happen on this trip. In this area, it's nestled in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. There's several creeks that run through this area, massive amounts of rhododendron or mountain laurels, as you'll see in this picture. There's a lot of high strangeness in this place, and there's a lot of a backstory onto how I come about being on this property. Unfortunately, I am careful with how I enter this place now, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And we get up to where the cemetery area is, and I'll let Robbie lead the way because Robbie is a very vital part of this trip.
Okay. Now, before Robbie, you jump in here, I kind of want to go through again some other pictures of just the surrounding area so people can actually understand on just how thick the foliage is around here. Now, if anybody knows anything about laurels, these things can get really super dense. So here's another picture. And I believe you said this one's leading up to a spring.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It is.
So you can definitely see the elevation going up as well. And then this one here, this one's called pre-chaos. And the reason being is I believe shortly after, this is where you're going to start really getting into the action. But again, you can see how tall some of these laurels are and how big the foliage is, the leaves. Here's another one on just how thick it is. And you guys are hacking your way through these at times, aren't you?
Well, I've got a pretty decent trail worn out through there. I've been keeping pretty well maintained. I have spent countless summers in that place with blisters on my hands from using that machete. So, and being drenched with sweat. So it's pretty thick.
Okay, so Robbie, go ahead and pick up where Harley was leading you to. Exactly happened. Now, are we going to start talking about pre-chaos? Like as soon as after that picture shown, that's when stuff started happening.
Well, on our way down in, we had a little activity going in. We had rocks or walnuts tossed. And Harley starts talking to him a little bit. Hey, this is my friend Robbie. There's no need in being like that, And I'm talking to Harley. I'm like, I don't know if we are to tell them how to react to me, but trying to keep it kind of on the light side. I've seen them before, and I've heard calls and screams, and I've been near forest people, but that's the first time I've ever had anything tossed at me. So it was a new experience for me.
Okay.
And
what? So you're saying usually walnuts and things like that were being thrown at you. Other than that, what else would you guys say it was being tossed at you guys?
Well,
there was an incident.
A whole limb.
So let's play that video because you guys actually caught that on video. Now, what you guys caught is one, you hear a loud crack, and then you hear something like coming through the leaves. Now, I didn't actually, after reviewing it a few times, I didn't actually see the limb coming through the air, but you could definitely hear it. And it's not like it just fell. You can definitely hear. So we're going to go ahead and play this. And Harley, for some reason, your mic does not mute. So you might want to mute your mic. Okay, ready?
All right, I'll get her done.
Here we go, guys.
just seen that. No, I seen him throw it. I seen his arm. I seen his arm come up. Ooh. I seen his arm come up.
Yeah, that's crazy. So Harley, when you heard the crack and you immediately turned from the crack to when you saw its arm come, about how many seconds or did it take for you to see that?
It was fast. Like it wasn't even 5 seconds. Like it just felt like it was instant, because as soon as I heard that crack, I turned around and I looked up. I seen from here up of its arm, and it had it in its hand and it tossed it. I never seen its head or anything. All I seen was its arm.
Okay.
All I seen was an arm, and it tossed it.
And again, this kind of, you've seen videos where people are walking and all of a sudden they look over here, and as they slowly start panning, that's when you see something happen. And I tend to think at a majority of those are kind of like set up, but here it happens so quick. Robbie, you didn't even have time. I mean, it was already in the air and in through the brush before you even had a chance to turn and look. And by that time, there was nothing. What were your thoughts? Because you're walking behind Harley. So what were your thoughts when that happened?
It was just a reaction. I'm filming with my phone. I don't, that's one of the problems with having some of this video is I can't share a lot of it because the files are so big they won't share. So I went back and cherry picked a little bit of this. I'm gonna be lying. I mean, I'm not as brave as Harley is most of the time. So I got cold chills that went up my spine at that moment. We've already been shadowed in at this point. I know they're there. I know they're just on the other side of the laurels. And then, we've had a couple of things thrown, and now this limb snaps and it gets tossed. And I'm not going to say that, I wasn't afraid, because I was afraid. I have no problem saying it. But the cameraman and me is always try to get the shot, So I just put my fear kind of in the back of my throat, and I just kept filming. And I didn't get the limb in the air, which, but you can tell by how fast I spin. When I heard that crack, I was going to the sound.
Do you feel that it was, Harley, do you feel that it was trying to hit you with it, or maybe intimidate you guys to get out of there?
I think it was definitely trying to intimidate a little bit and just letting us know, hey, you need to get going. But I want to go back a little bit. But when we found that handprint in the mud, it looked like they had took down a hog or something. That was when Robbie said to me, we need to get out of here now. And I didn't listen to Robbie. I should have, because I said, no, we can go further down into this holler. And that's what we done. I did not listen to Robbie, and that was foolish on my part. But seeing that handprint in the mud and seeing how big it was compared to my hand, that's when I knew, after we had this encounter, that's who we had run into.
So what we're looking at here is a wider picture of the area where the handprint you guys found. Now, Robbie, can you describe to us exactly where in relation of this picture is that handprint?
I'm standing facing it, and Harley is on the other side of the spring there. It's not real wide. It's like 5 feet. But that whole area, the area you can see right now where the handprint, that's all matted down. And it looked to us as if something had either been slammed on the ground right there or shoved into the mud, because that whole area is all flattened out. up to 20 feet before this area was tore all to crap. I mean, there was just, it looked like 4 or 5 things had ran through there and tore that whole area up. And it definitely looked to us that either possibly a deer, a boar, or something had possibly been chased up to that area. And then at that point right there, probably ambushed or tackled. It either ran it down from behind, or we had a pretty good feeling that the laurels you can see behind it, possibly one was waiting there. And they may have herded it into that area, and then the one that was right there may have jumped out and tackled it right there.
Okay, so in this picture, where would I be looking to see the handprint in this picture? Now I have a close-up of it, but just so when people can look, where would I be looking on this picture to possibly see the handprint?
If you go straight up the middle of the photo, it's a little bit to the right, closer to where that water is.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then this is what it is.
You can kind of see a little bit of a puddle there. Yeah.
That's the picture Harley took from the other side, facing directly down on it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, and I had a picture with my hand inside of it, and we've actually got video of it with me measuring it, and it was 10 inches wide, and my hand across is like 6 inches.
Okay. Now explain to us, explain to us what it is you guys see that would kind of give you maybe a little bit of your thought process going through that possibly something had been slammed here, or what would give you that impression that something was possibly slammed or pushed down into the ground?
It was the only logical thing that had made sense.
Now, had you guys heard any ruckus?
Everything around that foot there, where that handprint is there, is mashed flat. You can tell that something was compressed on top of it and smoothed that mud out.
So near the top of this picture, just like underneath that branch, that's the flattened area where something had maybe been pressed in or slammed down to the ground?
Yes.
Okay. And then this is the picture that you were measuring or putting your hand in comparison with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty crazy.
What I think it done was it took those other 3 fingers and just sunk them up into the mud, only leaving the index and the thumb impression perfectly.
Okay. And then so after you guys you find this, what was the next, the next encounter or the next thing that kind of made you like, hey, Robbie, you in your mind, you're thinking, man, we need to go.
Well, just from that alone, I was thinking they've got a fresh kill, and we're right here in the area. I don't know. I just got that little spidey sense that was started telling me that maybe time to start heading out.
Okay.
And I can't say that I definitely knew something was wrong, but it's just that feeling, when you listen to your senses and your senses are telling you something's a little not right. That's kind of where I was starting to feel.
Okay. So as you guys are going along, I assume the adventurous part of you guys are pressing forward now. Correct?
Yeah, that was by my decision. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so you were like, let's keep going, see what else we can find. What other picture or video should I bring up next that happened after you guys find this kill site, so to speak?
So it would be when we were on our way back out, and that was when they started the rock clacking.
So again, you guys, I heard it. It's pretty cool. So would it be the smell and then the rock clack?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's in the same one.
Okay, here we go.
There's a definite smell right here. It's almost an acid smell. Rock clacking up ahead.
Yeah, you really have to listen closely. So if you again have the ability to put on some headphones, you're definitely going to want to turn them up and so you can hear it because you can faintly hear it. Now, I've heard rock clack before and it's super distinctive, it's super loud if it's close. That to me sounded like it was kind of far off, maybe coming back from the area. Like you guys were trying to get out of there, and then I don't know if it's a signal like, hey, they're leaving, or hey, keep your eyes on these guys.
Mhm.
We don't know if they're going to come back around. What was your thought when you heard those rock clacks?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a signal.
How long did those rock clacks go on for?
They weren't very long. They were like maybe 5-10 seconds, anywhere in that range. Like there'd be 1, 2, 3, and then they'd stop.
Mhm.
And about how many times did those rock clacks happen as you guys were leaving the area?
I'd say maybe 4 or 5 times, somewhere in that range. There wasn't very many times they had done it.
Okay. So after you have the smell, and like you described it, give us a description again, Robbie. You said it kind of smells like acidic. Like, what do you mean it smelled like acidic?
It was almost as if you've unfortunately been around somebody that hasn't showered in 3 or 4 days and they've been active. There's that musky kind of a dense body odor smell.
Mhm.
It was pretty sharp, and for everything that I've ever experienced, that's the first time I've ever had a smell. But it did smell to me like a lot of people have described in the past. And that's why immediately it's like, oh, there's that smell. That's what everybody talks about.
Okay. Now, Harley, because you obviously you were ahead of Robbie, did you smell that as you walked forward?
I did not smell it when I was walking through there. No. But where I got to where I was, I smelled it there. But when I walked through where Robbie was, I did not smell it.
Well, there, guys, I'm not saying that this is factual, but it's a good chance that Robbie one was super close to you, and Harley up where you were at, there's possibility one was close to you as well. Because here's my theory, and people tell me that I'm wrong. That's fine. I don't care if you say I'm wrong or not. My theory is that they can turn this on and off. Just like a rattlesnake shakes,
Like a skunk.
shakes its rattle. Exactly. They can turn it on and off. Hey, I'm here. I'm telling you guys right now, you guys need to stop. You need to turn around, go the other way. I'm here. So maybe that's their way of letting you know that we're here and you guys are stopping and you're not getting a hint. So then someone up ahead decides they're going to rock clack. They're like, listen, we're here. What did it feel like when you were in that area? What were the sense that you guys were feeling?
It was definitely a sense of being watched, 100%. And it's always in that place. Sometimes you'll every hair on your body will stand up. You know that you're being watched by something, and then other times you just get this feeling of dread, just the dread feeling that you're in the wrong place. You're not supposed to be here.
Robbie, what
Yeah,
about you?
that's kind of the same. And I don't have a problem telling anybody I don't like to be out in the woods in the dark. And we had already been there like probably a good hour longer than we probably should have been. And in my head, I'm thinking how much time it's going to take to walk out. And I was thinking, are we going to wind up out here in this thick in the dark? And that's going to be a whole different experience, I'm going to be a whole lot more scared. I'll tell you that. I don't know about Harley. Harley, like I said, Harley's a braver man than I am. But I was starting to get uneasy. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So now walk me through and walk the listeners and the audience through. That happens. What is your guys' next step? What do you guys do? Where do you guys go? And what happens next along your way? Because you guys are making your way out of this area, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the main trail.
And what's the series of events that take you to between this spot and the main trail?
I think next is
Go ahead, Robbie.
the wood knock. We start getting wood knocks. We've already had rock throws, the limb. We had the rock clacks. We've started getting the wood knocks, and then the next thing was a growl. And Harley's got better hearing than me, and I believe it was closer to him at this point. And Harley turns and looks at me and goes, "Did you hear that?" And I start paying a little more attention in that direction. And I think that's when, at the total of, there was 3 growls at that point.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys,
and that's when all hell broke loose.
Okay, so you guys heard some knocks, and I got a little 17-second clip here.
Three knocks. 3 more knocks.
So again, you guys, if you want to kind of slide it back and listen to it again, I'll play it one more time. So you guys put your headphones on if you have them, earbuds in if you got them, turn them up, and we'll try to listen. You hear the 3 knocks, and then Robbie announces it right after each time. So let's listen to this again.
Three knocks. 3 more knocks.
And those 3 knocks were not from the same spot.
Okay.
The first set was closer to me, and the other set was further past Harley.
Now the knocks were like knock, 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 knock. They didn't sound like this. Now, when people hear about knocks, this is some audio that was sent to me by a listener. This is what people expect to hear when they hear knocks. Now, that's what people expect to hear. Yours were very, very, I'm sure they were louder there, but in a way they were kind of subtle in the cadence that they were in. Like this was wham, wham, wham. Yours was like knock, 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 and then knock, knock, knock. So yeah, that was so. Harley, you mentioned that after that happened, all hell started breaking loose. What do you mean by that?
So in this area on the trail, there's a big fallen pine tree, and we get to working our way past the branches on this pine tree, and I stop because I hear something absolutely booking it in our direction, and it stops maybe 50 feet away from us, and it's just shaking the laurels. And I'm like, Robbie, go now. And I get Robbie in front of me, and I'm like, let's go. We got to get out of here. So I'm getting Robbie going up in front of me, and I'm right on Robbie's hind end. I'm right behind him. I'm keeping up with him, and he's I hear it behind us. I didn't even want to turn around because if I'd have seen how close it was to me, I probably would have just stopped. But I could hear it behind me, and I'm making sure that Robbie's going. And it felt like an eternity getting out of that holler. But when we got up to where the main trail was, and when we turned around and looked down there where he was at, just the sheer size of this thing, it's easily the biggest one that I've ever seen. And from where he's at down there, he's just down there swaying back and forth like this, looking at us. And Robbie can tell his perspective on that little scenario as well.
And before you do, Robbie, let me show this picture again. This is similar to what you guys saw. If you guys had to do percentage-wise, what percentage-wise would you say this is what you guys saw?
About 90%.
At least 90%, 95, 95%.
Its head was a good 2 to 3 inches wider on each side.
Mm-hmm.
That one is closer to the size of the 8-footer that I saw. The one we saw, it's hard to put an exact measurement on it because, you know, first of all, I'm running for my life. And then as I'm going up the hill, Harley's got go. And I'm going, and the ground is still wet. It had rained the day before. So I'm trying to go. And then Harley goes, he's right behind me. And I take another good step or two, and I literally feel Harley touch me in the lower back and he's right behind me, go. And when he said that, I looked over my shoulder, and I'm 5'7", Harley's 6'6". So I'm looking over Harley to begin with, and I could see its shoulders and head above Harley's head. And it's probably still 20 to 30 feet behind him, but I can still see its head over Harley's head. And, you know, I'm 2 feet from Harley. So for me to see it over his head at that close a range he is to me, that thing, I'm going to say it's at minimum 12 feet. I mean, this thing is a absolute beast. And its face was
I've named
great.
it Big Pop.
What was that, Harley?
I said I've named him Big Poppy.
Okay. Now, you took a selfie. Well, you didn't really take a selfie. You were pretending to take a selfie because you felt there was something behind you. Now, is this the same one that you saw that you believe was following you, or was this a different one?
I can't say for sure because, you know, you don't get a good look at it.
Mm-hmm.
This picture is taken, you know, with the reverse camera, and this forest person is at least 40 feet behind me.
Okay.
And it's in the laurels, so we know that there was probably at least 4 of them there that day. We found different size tracks, you know, anywhere from 14 inches to 22 inches.
Okay.
So there were multiple tracks. So we know there was multiple ones there.
Okay.
And we were being followed for an hour at least. So I can't say that that's the same one.
Okay. So here's that selfie. And if you guys look, if you look near the top of the circle and you slowly move down, you'll kind of see a brow ridge, kind of the top of a head, and then looks like eye sockets, and then the rest of it's covered up by some leaves. Now, again, you had the sense that you were being followed. You didn't truly see it, but you had a belief that it was in a certain area.
Yeah.
And that's when you decided, I'm going to take a selfie and hopefully I'll catch something. That's kind of what Harley did, but Harley kind of turned around and took those 3 shots when he got the picture of that dog man. And I'll show that one in a little bit. But when you took this picture, were you just thinking that something was there, or you had a really strong suspicion that something was like 40 feet behind you?
it was a strong suspicion to go along. I heard footsteps just before this, so I knew something was there. And this is pre-chaos. This is pre-knocks. This right here is after rock throws, but before the knock. And we was on the way back out before everything went, south.
And then here's one of the tracks you guys got.
Yeah, that one was a 19-incher, I think, 19 or 20-incher. I think it's 19. Looks like it's 19.
I think it's 19. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because we found 16s, 19s, a couple 22s, and then a couple juvenile tracks, like maybe 12, 13 inchers.
Okay. So after that guy, this Big Poppy, as you call him, something similar to this guy. What happened? You guys see this guy? He's right behind you, Harley. You're yelling. He's right behind me. Let's go. Keep moving. When did it stop? When did it stop following you?
Well, this is where you come in, Dano.
You have the uncanny. It's like your superpower. Whenever you're in the crap, you have the ability to call me right when it's happening, and you're so excited. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? What's going on? You're not going to believe it. Oh my gosh. There's one in the tree. They're all around me. You guys, I'm telling you, he has called me no fewer than 4 times when he's got stuff going on. And normally I'd be like, yeah, whatever, dude, you're full of garbage. But each and every time I've heard stuff going on around him. And 2 of these calls were video calls. So I know it's not him breaking branches in the background, trying to make it sound more sensational. He's out casting a print in a different area. And he's like, dude, I just found this print.
No, same area.
Oh, same area. Okay. So he tells me I'm casting this print and I can hear him coming. And I'm like, man, whatever. And she's showing me the print. I'm like, oh man, that's cool, man. And all of a sudden I hear a crack. And he's like, did you just hear that? And I'm like, yeah, what was that? He goes, dude, they're coming. They're letting me know they're on their way. And then it was like a bunch of crap was going on behind him. And he's like, I'm like, go, get out of there, man. Forget that print. Get out of there. And he goes, okay. He goes, you think I should? I go, yeah, get out of there. And so he goes, well, I got to get this cast. And I'm like, man, hang up with me and get out of there. So then he texts me and he goes, I'm leaving. And it was like, not even like a minute later, dude, I got to go. They're all around me. And he takes off, right? So then about 20 minutes later, he calls me from his truck. And this dude is covered in sweat. He's like, dude, they chased me all the way out of the woods. And I go, what do you do? He goes, well, tomorrow I'm going to go back and get that casting. I'm like, I go, man, wouldn't that suck if you go back for that casting and they took that casting? And he's like, oh, no, they wouldn't do that. I go, okay. He calls me the next day. He's like, bleep, bleep, bleep. You're not going to believe what those bleep, bleep, bleeps did. They done stole that casting, Daniel. They took that casting. And he showed me where the casting was. And it wasn't like, I mean, I've seen people remove castings and they're very careful because they don't want to break it or damage it anyway. This looks like something reached down and dug its hands around that casting and yanked it completely out with no regard of what the casting was. It looked like a hole where that casting was. Mm-hmm. So this is what he's talking about. This is where I come into the story. So pick up from there when you've got Big Poppy chasing you guys.
So we get up to the main trail, and then this is after we see him down there swaying back and forth at us. Robbie's like, do you have a gun? I said, nope. So Robbie pulls out his other gun and gives it to me, and we're start working our way out, and we know he's following us, and I'm just like, I gotta call Dano. because I don't know if anybody else will pick up, but I know Dano will. Dano always picks up in times of need. And I called and I was waiting and waiting. And I think it was right before it went to voicemail. He answered. He's like, "What's up?" I said, "Me and Robbie are being chased out." You're like, whoa, slow down. What? I said, "I got Robbie with me and we're being chased out by a Bigfoot. Just slow down, Harley, slow down. You're talking too fast." And we get to going further down the trail. And we stopped because Robbie said, "There's something right here. There's something here. I can feel it." And
I
I
got a
was like,
cold
"Just
chill
keep moving.
down
Just
my
keep
back.
moving."
Cold chill.
You said you had cold chills?
Yeah, I got a cold chill down my back. It was. I don't want to say it was supernatural feeling, but man, it stopped me cold in my tracks.
Now, could it be what you guys believe you got a picture of?
I don't know. I don't want to say
That's
that,
the $1 million
but
question.
Okay. Well, I won't. I mean, I'll show the picture. And again, it's open to anybody's interpretation exactly what it is. Now, is this when you had that cold chill?
Mm-mm.
No?
no,
No, that
that
was
was
down in
early.
the holler before chaos.
Okay.
And I didn't even know I had this picture till today, because I hadn't went through all the video, and this is a still from the video from pre-chaos.
Okay.
And I didn't have anything to do today, so I just sat and went through 40-something minutes of video. And I was trying to clip out a few clips for you today because I can't send the entire files. My phone won't allow it.
Right.
And I saw this and I like to fell off the couch.
Right. And again, if you guys are not sure what we're looking at, again, they're not even sure what they're looking at. I'm not even sure. We have a suspicion, but we're not going to say definitive, this is what it is. But if you look between, like in the middle of the picture, if you look between the two leaves, you can kind of make out what looks to be a snout, and then like a forehead area, and then it looks like eye sockets on either side. And again, we're not saying that this is something. It could very well be a tree stump. We don't know. But it just, all the activity that was going on prior to chaos, they're catching things like this. So who knows what it is? So let's go start back where you get this cold chill feeling. What happens next?
We're at this point, from the point we come out of the laurels and it stops and we look back, I apologize. I literally apologize. And I said, "I'm sorry, we got the message, we're leaving." We still have to truck a mile to get back to Harley's vehicle. And we're halfway down. So we're a good half mile down this trail. And then that's when the cold chill hits me. He's on the phone with you at this point. And I'm like, stop. We got to check our six. Something's not right. And I began to scan the area. And at this point, I pull my gun. I've got a chest rig. I pull the gun out. I already gave Harley my 9. This is my 10. I pull the 10 out. I hold it down to my side. And we just start checking. And you tell me, Dano, don't stop. Keep moving. Don't let anything gain ground on you. Get your ass in gear. And then we just picked up and took off again. And we're constantly rolling our head from side to side. And we're checking because we have woods on both sides of us. And at any point, and I'll say this, at any point during this entire day, from the first step we stepped up into that laurels, if they wanted us, they had us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We were outmatched, outgunned, and were tailed by what I will clearly say is a superior being. So for them to escort us out and let us leave, I'm very thankful. Because I really do feel like that God blessed us that day, and you wouldn't be talking to us right now if God hadn't wanted us to leave those woods that day.
Mm-mm. Nope.
I'm dead serious about
Exactly
that.
right.
And if anybody at all questions that, I'll look you straight in your eye. If you want to meet me somewhere, I'll look you straight in the eye. I'll put my hand on a Bible. I'm a Christian. I would not lie to you for anything. We received a blessing to be here today because we could have not been.
You know, as thick as those laurels are, you know, one could have been standing literally arm's length away from you, and you would have never known until it was too late.
Yep.
You know, I mean, if you look at some of the greatest footage, and some people will want to critique it or whatever, but you've got, you know, the Freeman film, you've got Scott Carpenter's work, you've got the Patterson Gimlin film, you know, these things, well, especially in the Freeman film, it just shows up.
Yeah.
Mr.
He didn't know it
Freeman,
was there at that moment.
he was not looking for it. Also, he goes, oh, look, there's one right there. And sure enough, there it goes. You know, so yeah, there it goes. There he goes. You know, and it's when you see footage like that, again, people are going to come out of the woodworks to critique it and hoaxer and call, you know, label you all these different things. You know, I don't know you guys as that, you know. And here's the thing, you guys bring things to me, and Harley, I've been brutally honest with you, haven't I? Like, you guys, here's the thing, he showed me a couple of stills from a tree cam, and he's like, dude, you're not gonna believe it was up in the tree messing with my camera. And I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I go, oh, buddy. I as soon as I saw one thing in one of the pictures, he sent me like 4 or 5 stills. I go, oh man, this is a bear. No, this ain't a bear, dude. I go, buddy, I promise you with everything what's in me, this is a bear. And he's like, fine, whatever, Daniel. I mean, you don't have to see. I go, buddy, I promise you. And then I circled what I was showing him, and then he comes back, he goes, damn it, it's a bear. And I go, and I mean, again, that's why I love this community, because for every one legitimate thing that we have that we can say, you guys, look, we can introduce it to the community. Take a look at this. We're gonna have, even you, Harley, and you, Robbie, you're gonna have something that it looks like it's there, but really there's nothing there. And it goes the same with anybody else out there. You can look at all of these researchers that are doing amazing things in this community. They're going to have 150,000 pictures, and they're going to have 2 that are legitimate that you cannot deny. So with every success, there's going to be defeat in each and every one. And that's what I love about this community. That's what I like and love about you, Harley, and you, Robbie, is that you're not going to go off half-cocked when someone says, well, this could be this. I'm not really sure. And then you guys take another look at it and like, oh, you know what? You could be right, you know? But I always hope that I'm wrong. Because I mean, like, one of the most amazing pictures. Well, before we get off that subject, so you guys, how long did it take you to get back to your truck? And when it got to your truck, was it still following when you got back to your truck?
I'm almost positive they were still following us. If it wasn't the big one, I'd say some of the smaller ones were making sure that we made it out.
Well, I can tell you this much. That's the fastest my little chubby ass has covered a mile in a long time. Okay. I lift things for a living. You know what I mean? I don't jog. I don't run. If you see me running, you better be out running me, because I am scared to absolute death if you see me running.
Yeah.
I don't do it. I got a bad ankle anyways. But no, we covered that mile. We didn't run, but I mean, we was going as fast as our legs could carry us in a speed walk. I mean, we were doing Olympic level speed walking. And I gripped that gun so tight that my hand hurt me the rest of the night. I rubbed muscle rub on it. I took Tylenol. I took ibuprofen. I had a death grip on that pistol.
Yeah.
And
Well, Robbie, you forget we're missing the critical piece in this story about your phone.
yeah.
Let's hear that.
Well, we get to the truck and Harley goes, "You got that, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, brother, I got that. We got this. We're good." Because I've been recording for, 40 something minutes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And right up until the chase started, I'm solid. I got this. We get in his vehicle. We're riding back to town. I pull up the last video I took. I watched the whole thing, and it's not there. There's right before the chase started, my phone shut off. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they turned my phone off. I could have hit the button when I was running for my freaking life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I may have screwed up royally.
Well, I do remember it was on.
Yeah. And I legit was nauseous. I was physically nauseous for an hour when I realized I didn't get that. And I've done wedding photography, racetrack photography. I was a semi-professional photographer for years. I've done 48 weddings, and I used to get on the guardrail at the local drag strip and be 2 feet away from these dragsters that are tearing past my head, and I always got the shot. I was very proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped the ball on this one, and Harley didn't have his back rig on. And could you imagine if Harley had his back rig on at this point? That video would have been, viral wouldn't even describe it.
Nope.
To see that monster tearing through those laurels and bearing down on us would have been easily top video of the year on the internet this last year.
Oh, easily.
And then, of course, no matter what you get, somebody's going to scream fake, AI. So,
Yep.
But for both of us to have had one of the scariest, absolute terrifying moments of our life, neither one of us got it. And say what you want. I don't care what people think of me. Trust me, nobody can say anything to me that would make me feel worse than I felt myself for not getting that.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is. I've said it before. I'm not the first one that didn't get the winning shot.
Yeah.
It happens. You have people that have all these different ideas of, they're apes, they're people, whatever anybody comes up with. There always seems to be something that happens around them. That batteries go dead, cameras die, flashlights stop. My wife took a raccoon to release it over here in the ridge where I've had 3 of my sightings. And her sister went with her. It's about 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, hey, give me a minute and I'll get dressed and go with you. And she's like, no, we got this. I'm packing. I got a flashlight. I don't need a man. I'm like, okay, Her sister, you can get a 4x4 off the road there, but you don't want to pull a car off the road there. You could get stuck real easy. So her sister says, I'll let you out here. I'll go down to the edge of the road and I'll turn around and come back. I'll be back in 45 seconds. My wife walks up to the edge of the trees there. She gets about 10 feet off the road. The flashlight automatically dies. We've had this flashlight for 2 years. That flashlight has never failed to work. And then so she's got to get her phone out and she's trying to use the flashlight on her phone. She gets the raccoon out. Her sister pulls back. She gets in the car and leaves. No big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so you're going to tell me this area of the woods where I have all these weird experiences, all of a sudden the flashlight that never fails failed?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't find that odd? It happens. It happens. And I'm like, okay, you believe what you want to believe. That's fine, you know.
Yeah. So, Harley, tell me about the DNR and the sheriff's deputies.
December 26th. It was a weekend. Hang on, I gotta remember the exact date. It was December. The weekend of December 19th through the 21st. It's a weekend
Okay.
before Christmas. Me and a bunch of my buddies got together and we went out to my research area, the same place where the documentary that's coming out, Operation Smoke, took place. So Friday night, we go out, hit the woods and stuff. It was kind of a dead night, which we kind of expected because the first night investigation is always kind of dead. So I ended up having to leave and then come back the next morning. And when I get out there with them, that's when we hear something coming up the road. And we're just sitting there. And next thing we know, here comes 3 county sheriffs rolling up the road. Then 2 park rangers. And they said, don't reach for your weapons. And we're like, okay, fine. And they asked us what we were doing. And sure, we told them Bigfoot research. And the sheriffs, they were all cool with it. They were like, oh, well, that's cool. And then the park rangers were like, well, there ain't no Bigfoot out here. And they ran the IDs, ran the plates, and they apparently, you're supposed to have a parking pass for this place. When I've been in here for 2 years, not been told once by anybody whatsoever about a parking pass. Any other locals around this area, they don't have a parking pass. And so that was just a bunch of red flags for me. And the one park ranger, he was all right. The other one, he kind of had like a military demeanor about him. He was kind of bigger and stockier, and he was a prick. I'll just leave it at that. And so I pretty much, if I risk it to go back in here, I'm going to suffer the consequences. And I fully believe that I'm on their radar now more than ever because I take people out here. They have experiences and encounters, and I'm not a liar. I'm not full of crap. I mean, this area is special to me, and I wanted to grow old and stop researching in this place, and that's not going to happen.
All right. So let me ask you this, man. What do you mean? And be blunt. Be blunt and honest with me. What do you mean that you will suffer the consequences? And who said that to you?
I just feel like I'd suffer the consequences of keep on doing what I'm doing, going back into this place and risking something happening to me. I've had issues with these people before. You know, they would call me, and it was like shortly, like my first year of doing this, like they would call me asking me who I was. You know, is this Harley Owens? And I'm like, yeah. Have you seen a Bigfoot? And I'm like, yeah. And then they were like, no. And then, of course, I've dealt with these government vehicles that are brand new with red lettering on the side of their vehicles that said Talon, and they're associated with NASA. What's NASA doing out in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park? I mean, it's just so many different issues. And then when I sold my old truck in 2024, that day, whenever I sold it, the guy called me. He was like, dude, what did you do? And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, I got 4 or 5 unmarked SUVs here at the end of my driveway.
What do you mean Talon?
So
Talon, Talon? Yeah. I'm gonna look that up.
Their cover is a mineral company, but if you dig deeper into it, they are associated with NASA.
Okay. Okay. I mean, great. Now I'm probably put myself on somebody's radar. You know,
I figure I'm already on 2 or 3 watch list anyways.
I'll say it. I'll say it and I'll say it again. Like, I don't care. I know they're watching this. You know, they're listening. I mean, they always are. I mean, if you're going to get me, do it right. Because I'm not going down without a fight.
well, don't be talking like that because, mysterious things happen. So just don't talk like, I mean, dude, I remember you telling me that you've had unmarked government vehicles at the end of your street as you're pulling up onto your street, and they follow you up to your house and they slowly drive by your house. And then as you go back out to your car for whatever reason, or you go out the door, they're slowly driving by your house, going back down the street. Yeah. So again, man, it's just be careful. Both of you guys, be careful. What do you guys got planned coming up next? What are you guys going to be doing next?
Oh, Lordy. I got
Say what, Robbie?
yeah.
I'm just going to follow this guy wherever he goes, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to be my new cameraman. We're going to get it eventually. But I will be in Alabama the 31st of this month. Should be there, fingers crossed, for the premiere of The Vanishing by Relic Films.
Yep.
And I don't think I really have much going on too much until Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon, because I think that's the only one I'm speaking at this year.
Okay. When is that one? When's that going to be?
It's in August. It is the one that you came to.
Mm-hmm. I know. Do we have an exact date on it?
I do not know right off the top
Okay.
of my head. I'll have to look and I'll send it to you.
Okay. Robbie, what about you? Other than following Harley Owens?
Well, I'm going to try to hit the Wildman Con again this year. That was my first time this year, and I got to meet you and hang out with everybody, and everybody treated me so graciously. And I go to the local show over here in Gatlinburg, and I've got to meet a lot of cool people and things like that. But everybody down there in Tennessee Wildman was just so good to me. I felt like a friend that I didn't know I had until I got there. And so I'm going to try to go back to it again.
It was great meeting both of you guys there. I would like to go back there. I can't guarantee I'm going to. But June 6th in North Little Rock, I'll be speaking at Arkansas Cryptid Fest. So
I'm going to try my best to come out and see you out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And I'd also like to go to, is it the Great Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference? Is that out there in Gatlinburg?
Yeah, it's usually in the end of July.
What was that?
I think it's usually the last week of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And what? Yeah.
Yes.
Last weekend of July. I have to look at that.
August 15th, Dano, is this year.
Okay. This week in August. I don't know. I might drive down. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hey, if you drive down, we'll take you out to eat and then drive you out to a dark spot in the woods and see if we can find some boogers.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. You both better be able to outrun me, because I'll be busting your ankle and I'll be hitting you in the back with something, man. No, I'm going to be out in the woods Friday and Saturday. This coming up Friday and Saturday. Out there with Josh and somebody else. So
I was hoping to get to come to that, but where I just came off of my vacation leave, I couldn't get time off again.
Yeah, that's okay, man. This is like an impromptu meet and greet, this coming Thursday. It's just an impromptu thing. It's not like we had months to plan it. It's just, we've actually just a couple of weeks, really. So
yeah.
I think we might have like 15 or 20 people show up, which is fine. I mean, we're not charging anything. I don't think I would ever charge anybody anything to meet me. I'm nobody. I'm just a person. So, but all right, you guys.
You're on your way up. What are you talking about?
Oh, stop. Man, I'm just having a blast doing this, man. I had a good time doing this. Harley, let people know where they can see some of your research, any Facebook groups that you may have, or where if someone wants to see what Harley Owens is doing out in the field, where can they find that information?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best way would be my Facebook group, Owens Outdoors, Smoky Mountain Cryptids. I'm on Instagram as well, TikTok, YouTube. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch me on the podcast show that I'm a part of, North Carolina Investigates, on YouTube. So be sure to check us out and subscribe.
What about you, Robbie? What you got?
I'm always on Facebook. I don't have anything, other than my regular Facebook page. But, if somebody's got something they want to talk about, I'm open to people contacting me to discuss what's going on. I've had probably 20 people contact me already, and I've heard a lot of good stories from the area, from people from their experiences. And there's some people that's wanting to come give it a look around. Let's put it that way. I don't take people out. I'll point people in the right direction if they want to go look for themselves. But it's like I tell anybody, you can be in the same area as them and never see them. Yep. Just because they're there doesn't mean you will guaranteed to see one. Your interaction with them will be based off of what they want.
Oh, that's 100% true.
So, I've said this on another podcast. If it doesn't matter how many years experience you have, if you have a television program or whatever, there are no experts. We are all finding our way through this, and there's plenty of people with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, but we can't tell you definitely this or definitely that. We have ideas, we have experiences, and I can put you in the hottest zone there is. And if they don't want to have anything to do with you, they're not going to have anything to do with you.
Nope. You'll never know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of people say the reason that they got hostile with me over in Harley's area is because I had a gun. There's been people in there with guns way before me. Now I was filming. Maybe maybe they didn't like that. Or, maybe there was something else in that area and they wanted me and Harley out of there for our own protection.
Well,
yeah.
I have an idea. And again, it's just a shot in the dark. You guys probably are around right after a hunt. And you guys stumbled upon that area where you got that handprint, and they're either feeding or they're doing something else, prepping or whatever. We all know, that if there's one, there's more than one. There's a good possibility if it's a fresh hunt, there may be juveniles around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good possibility, that could be a scenario that you guys walked in on and not knowing it. And that's why they were doing what they were doing. Like, hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
We're not walking in your front door while you're sitting down and have dinner. Get out of here,
Yeah.
Though they would probably would look in your windows though. So, all right, guys. Hey, I again, thank you so much for coming on, and you guys hang out in the lobby for a minute or two, and I'll be right back with you.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
Yeah, anytime,
all right,
guys.
Appreciate it.
You guys know you have an open invitation, so. All right.
Much love, brother.
You're good,
much love.
Man.
Absolutely, guys.
Good
Stand
people.
by 1 second. You're great people, man. I'm good. You guys are great. I'll see you guys in a minute. You guys, that's the show, man. Honestly, outstanding guests as always. I love Harley. I love Robbie. They're both two great, genuine guys. I had a great time meeting them last year at the West Tennessee Wild Man and Cryptid Con in McMinnville, Tennessee. Again, looks like it's gonna be August 15th this year. So guys, keep track of that date and look for tickets. You guys will not be disappointed. Harley's going to be speaking, and it's a great put together festival if you guys want to go check that out. Also, June 6th, I'll be speaking at the first annual Arkansas Cryptid Fest in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And stay tuned. Check out the community page, and I'll be posting things there periodically, letting you guys know where and when and times and things like that. I'll be a guest speaker. So I'll be outside. I won't have the luxury of being inside. It's going to be hot, they're saying. I don't know. I'm a big guy. Big guys and heat just don't mix. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight and checking this out. These are two genuine guys, in my opinion. I enjoy talking with them. They're both out there doing good things. They're doing a lot of stuff out there. I mean, I wish I could get out there and do it, but I don't know. Either I'm lazy or I don't know. I'm too much of a cynic, maybe. I don't know. But maybe one day. So, but you guys, that's it. I want to say thank you so much for all the support you guys show for the channel, all the love you show to the channel. You guys, if you had an encounter and you'd like to come on the show or just share your story, shoot me an email at thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. I truly appreciate everything you guys do for the channel. Again, that's thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. I'm not going to get out of here without saying my buddy Josh always says from Mysteries Unknown. He says, stay prayed up. And you guys, as I always like to say, remember, a legend begins with a sighting. You guys have a great night. I'll see you in the next show.
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your